On the phone with Dr. Johnson from Wichita Dermatology and Aesthetics. Good morning, Dr. Johnson.
Good morning.
I appreciate your time. Last weekend, the music world, and I think a lot of our worlds were really shook at the unexpected news of the death of Jimmy Buffett at the age of 86. Now, what's more concerning is really he was a very private person, didn't talk a lot about his 4-year battle that was on again, off again with the type of rare skin cancer he had. He had Merkel cell carcinoma. What can you tell me about this type of skin cancer, doctor?
Well, skin cancer in general is very common, but the type that Jimmy had was called Merkel cell carcinoma. And it's a rarer type of skin cancer. There's about 2,000 cases diagnosed in the United States every year. But so it's rare, but unfortunately, it's one of the more aggressive types of skin cancer. It's as aggressive or more aggressive than melanoma.
It is terrifying when you hear statistics like that. Now, I mean, what makes it so aggressive? Like, how does it go from a spot on your skin to full-blown skin cancer?
Well, it has a very rapid growth, development, and then spread from the skin. So it usually does start on the surface of the skin as a red, pink, or purple bump. It's often painless, but it very quickly grows from a small bump and spreads to local lymph nodes and then other organs from there. And it's traditionally a very hard type of cancer to cure once it has spread beyond the skin.
Why do you think that we as human beings underestimate skin cancer? I mean, is that a safe comment or a fair comment? Because I think there are a lot of cancers out there, and when it comes to skin cancer, a lot of us are just like, meh.
Yeah, it kind of often is kind of thought of as not a big deal, but there are squamous cell skin cancer. There's at least 10,000 people that die of that a year. Melanoma, an additional 10,000 people die a year in the United States. And in fact, skin cancer is the most common cancer of the entire human body by far. It's estimated that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer during their lifetime. The good news is if it is detected and treated early, most types of skin cancers can be highly curable. But if not caught early, if it's spread beyond the skin, it's not so good news.
Okay, well let's start there. In dentist speak, we're supposed to have a checkup every 6 months. How often should I be going to a dermatologist like you to check my skin?
Well, if someone has ever had a skin cancer or precancerous spots, we usually see them once to twice a year. Now, if somebody who has never had a skin cancer or a family history of skin cancer, that question's a little harder to answer. We as dermatologists would love everyone to have their skin checked once a year, but insurance doesn't necessarily cover a skin cancer screening or check for every single person in the population from birth to death. But typically, if you have a concern on your skin, a spot you're concerned about, you can have a skin check done at a dermatologist office, and insurance will cover that.
Okay, let's get into best practices. The first one I want to start with is one of the easier ones, sunscreen, SPF. My question is there a difference? Like, is there a point where SPF, let's say 30, it doesn't make any difference after that whether you go 50, 100, or are there actually benefits to going the higher the number of SPF?
There is small additional benefits from higher SPF levels. Let me put it this way. An SPF of 30 blocks approximately 96% of the UV rays from the sun. An SPF of 50 bumps you up to about 98% blockage of UV rays. As you go above 50, you get closer to 100% blockage of UV rays. Some people would say, well, that's not very much more protection, going from 96 to 98% to 99%. But if you add that up over your lifetime, that small incremental protection, I think is worth it.
Certainly. All right. So other best practices to help keep us as safe as possible when we're enjoying the outdoors in the sun.
Well, aside from sunscreens, A wide-brimmed hat is always a good idea. A wide-brimmed hat does a much better job of blocking the sun than a baseball cap. Clothing is always good. The more clothing you wear, long sleeves, long pants, the more protected you are, and the less sunscreen you have to apply. But anywhere you're not covered up, then that's where you want to apply the sunscreen.
Okay. Dr. Johnson, Wichita Dermatology and Aesthetics, I appreciate your time educating us a little bit on Merkel cell carcinoma and other ways for us to avoid getting skin cancer when we're out enjoying this beautiful sunny Kansas weather, right?
Yep.
Thanks so much.
It's good to talk to you, JJ.